Hi, I'm Ann Coulter. Welcome to my Substack. I'm talking to my longtime friend, smart Democrat, Mickey Kaus, right before the election. I keep trying to think of interesting and Democrats to interview, Mickey, but I always come back to you. You have the most interesting take on everything. So, welcome, Mickey Kaus,
Thank you. Happy to be here.
and
That's what you're supposed to say.
congratulations to the Dodgers. I'm very upset about that, but oh well. Um, First, I'm going to move to your topics, your suggested topics right away. But first, I liked your Substack post this week, but I did not tweet it. I don't know if you noticed, because I don't want Kamala Harris to adopt it. So, what was your
I
plan?
don't think there's much chance of that, but um,
I considered that, but no, it's not worth it.
well, the post was, it's basically what Justin Trudeau has done in Canada. He is a liberal politician who's he's not popular. He's going down the drain, and he's in part because he has opened the floodgates to immigration, and that's not popular. So what does he do? He does the rational thing, which is he stops the bleeding. He stanches the flow. He says, "I'm cutting back on immigration. We got it a bit wrong." Okay. Kamala doesn't do anything like that, really, except for the massive lie in her White House speech where she said, "I'm going to quickly return any illegal who crosses the border." Well, she isn't doing it now. The administration isn't doing it now, and they let in what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million illegals. So it's completely not credible. What she could do, and what I propose, borrowing a page from your book, is declare a pause on immigration. She's not giving up on immigration. She's not giving up on amnesty. She's just pausing it for 4 years for her term so that the voters don't have to worry about that issue. She takes her worst issue off the table. Uh, and she can phrase it in sort of Trumpian terms until we're going to have a debate where we reach some sort of consensus. We're too divided now. This 4 years gives us breathing room to have this debate. Um, I think that's a winner. I mean, the left isn't going to abandon her, and half of them have already voted anyway. So meanwhile, all sorts of people who might have misgivings in the center and even on the right might say, I don't like Trump. He's done made some real mistakes. So this makes the gamble on Harris much more appealing. It's weird. I got very little pickup on that. I didn't get pickup from you. I didn't get pickup from certainly not from the Harris people, and didn't get pickup from Mark Krikorian and the usual immigration restrictionists. So it seems to be have gone out into a void, which is fine. But
No, I think I can explain our side. Yes, it's utterly unbelievable, but I'm terrified that she'd try something like that.
well,
Um, I mean, I think both you and I have been sort of amazed. We both expected, okay, it's going to be pedal to the metal, drag in as many third worlders as possible for the first 3 years of the Biden administration. And then in the fourth year, start building the wall and sending them back. And, now we'll get serious so voters will forget what we've been doing for 3 years. And I think both you and I have been sort of sitting back all of 2024 saying, wait, when do you stop this? Because this is really unpopular.
and you win elections usually. I mean, Kamala's sort of a hollow blob of nothing. I disagree with you on that. You claim she's an obvious left winger, but you win elections by making dramatic moves that show you're a leader. Clinton saying, "I'm going to end welfare as we know it." That was a completely contrarian position for a Democrat to take, and it won him the election. Even George Bush's compassionate conservatism was not expected. Uh, Kamala hasn't done anything dramatic like that would tell the voters, "Hey, there may be something to this woman that I haven't seen." You would expect, even pause it for a year would be better than where she is now.
But don't you think that supports my point that the reason she hasn't retracted any of these positions or taken a dramatic position is she doesn't retract them. I keep hearing both conservatives and liberals in the MSM saying, well, she's had to change a lot of her positions. Other than fracking, she has not come out and said she is against reparations. She has not said, I am now against defunding the police. She has not said, oh my gosh, that tweet where I supported the Minnesota Freedom Fund bailing out violent criminals, I'm going to take that down now. I no longer believe that. She hasn't said anything about how she wrote the titles and the descriptive paragraphs on Propositions 47 and 57 in California that allows shoplifting up to $1,000, 950, and released all these violent criminals. She hasn't said she no longer supports the Green Deal, except for this one narrow thing that now suddenly she's for fracking, which obviously is BS, but that's at least something she's claiming to have changed her mind about. So I think the reason she isn't taking these dramatic positions is she hasn't changed her mind.
Or else she is just a captive of the Democratic coalition. She's a weak nothing who goes with the flow. I tend to think I tend to think more that she's the weak nothing who goes with the flow. I think, and it was weird. In my theory, she's just a mound of ambition. She'll do whatever is necessary to get ahead, and she harnessed that in her speech on the ellipse, where she said, I am ruthlessly ambitious, but I'm going to be ruthlessly ambitious for you. And I thought that was very effective, because that sort of there was a consonance there between what the public thinks of her and what she was pledging to do. The weird thing is the trans operations for illegal aliens in prison. I mean, maybe she had an aide say she doesn't think that anymore, but she really needs something stronger than that, if she even has that, because Trump, this is the ad that's killing her.
Yes.
In 92, when Clinton was in trouble, he would run the welfare ad, okay, and say, I'm going to end welfare as we know it. He did it sub rosa. Okay, in other issues, Democrats sub rosa run Social Security ads. They do it every time. The Republicans are going to take away your Social Security, and Trump is running that transgender ad. Okay, she needs to blunt it because it's killing her.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for reminding me. I forgot one of the biggest policies she has not changed her mind on. And sorry, we don't have to beat this horse to death. But if she were just going with the flow, and well, this is where the Democratic Party is. How did she win the distinction of being the most liberal United States senator? That's not, I'll stick it out in the middle here. I'm just going to be in the middle of the road. She was the most liberal U.S. senator.
That's the flow in California, the most, one-party liberal state. I mean, I discovered that, there are no moderate Democrats left in California, or practically. I mean, Barbara Boxer was basically reflected the flow. Maybe she was a little to the left of where the mainstream Californian was, but not anymore. I mean, it's 10 years later, and we've had 10 years of movement to the left. That is where Californians are. Remember, the entire country was convulsed with a populist wave of revulsion against the Democrats, except California.
You remind me, I'm going to leap ahead to one of my topics, because it's about, we're talking about Kamala's messaging. And I don't know if you had time to read it, but the Maggie Haberman article in the New York Times, which I thought was kind of hilarious, about this super PAC that's taking all these polls on behalf of Kamala, and they're running their own ads. I forget what it's called. But they keep begging the Kamala campaign, please stop calling him a fascist. This is so not working. You can't call him a fascist. And then, and also we don't like his tax plan. You can't keep calling him a Hitler. It's not helping. It's not moving the needle. You need to talk about basically how you're going to give more stuff away. So anyway, what did you think of that? I thought that was because they're not backing off on it.
That is it. They're not backing off on it. What happened is they ran on joy, okay, and then it's that sort of they had to move to the phase where she, closed the deal on her affirmative that she was there's really something there. It's not just she's not Trump, but there's some substance there. And they seem to have just thrown up their hands and said, okay, that failed. We didn't convince anybody that there was any substance there. So they're going back on what the whole Joy campaign was supposed to be against, which is gloom and doom about Trump being a fascist. And that has run up on the shoals of this Biden garbage comment, which is, that is based on what I call Meachimism, which is the analogy to the civil rights movement, which is we're on the right side of history, they're evil people on the wrong side, they're bigots, they're fascists. And when Biden just sort of said that, all of a sudden they realized you can't say that because you're basically accusing half of the America of being bad people. And so that sort of strategy sort of hit a dead end. If they're Nazis, why can't you call them Nazis? Because transparently, a lot of Trump supporters are not Nazis. That's why.
You can watch complete episodes of Unsafe with Ann Coulter by subscribing to anncoulter.substack.com. That's anncoulter.substack.com. You can also listen to complete episodes for free at Ricochet.com. Choose Unsafe from the pull-down menu at the top of the page. That's Ricochet.com, your home for civil center right conversation on the web.